In the beginning, there was... Oh, wait, let me fix it. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's not good.
It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com on Heavy Metal Television. And joining us today, somebody knows a lot about the heavy metal part of Heavy Metal Television, as he and his band Manimal have released a brilliant, and I do mean brilliant, brutal, and heavy new release called Armageddon. Like I said, the name of the band is Manimal, and joining us today is the vocalist of that band, Mr. Samuel Nyman. Samuel, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Well, Samuel, like I just said, the new album is ferocious, man. It is such a, it's one of those records where you put it on and I mean, you just get your face ripped off for an hour, man. It's fantastic.
That was exactly the whole idea of the album, obviously. Yeah, we're so proud of this one, you know. I wouldn't say we are less proud than with our previous releases, but this one is something special. Yeah,
sure. Now for you guys, Samuel, I mean, for people that don't know, this Manimal is by far not a new band at all. I mean, you guys are what, 20 years in or something like that, right?
20 years, 20th anniversary this year.
Sure. And you've been releasing music since 2009, I think, to the public. You know, why do you think it is that it's taken this long for people to really start understanding what your band is? Because, you know, for years I've sort of heard the name of the band, and you know, some people say, oh, it's a Wasp cover band. Other people will say, well, it's a power metal band, you know, and you guys are just a straight up metal band. I mean, metal band. It's so good.
Yeah, exactly. Because we've been having problem with a label labeling us power metal. You know, our first album, I wouldn't say, even though it was maybe more power metal back. No, I wouldn't say that either. It was more like some kind of mix between prog metal and heavy metal. I don't know, but
sure.
But we've been having a problem with that label because we don't think that it describes our music in the best of ways. You know, we would like to call it, just like you said, metal. Yeah, to give some people some kind of guidance, maybe heavy metal, I don't know, it would be more accurate. I don't know, but yeah, I totally agree. It's not pure power metal. If somebody puts any of our albums on and, you know, and expect it to blast power metal through the speakers, I think they will be disappointed.
Right. Definitely not. I mean, and this record, especially Armageddon, is just it's just kind of in your face metal. You know, it's funny. I was talking to a friend that basically I tell him everything that's new. You know, he knows the stuff everybody knows. Oh, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, you know, he knows that stuff. He doesn't know any new bands, so he generally relies on me to kind of explain it to him. And I was trying to explain to him, and I'll just tell you up front, I've been, for the last month since I've had this record, I've been telling friends and Facebook and everybody, this is my metal album of the year. I mean, it is just, there's no holes in it. There's no bad songs in it. But trying to explain what it is to people is really difficult.
Yeah, and I think that is maybe a strength we have, but at the same time, maybe also a weakness. But because the weakness is that it's not one and the same. Each and every song, that they are their own, you know, and you don't get bored by listening to the whole album. And that is a strength, we think, and we will probably always write music like that. But also some people, they like the music to be, you know, very defined, and you know, they want a Motorhead to sound Motorhead. You know
right.
What you get when you buy a Motorhead album.
Right.
But at the same time, we think that we want, both for our own sake and for other people's sake, to have a variation in the songs and on the album, both when it comes to the moods of the songs and the rhythms and the tempos, you know. So I think it may be a weakness, but also we think mostly it's a strength, because when you put on a Manimal album, and you listen through the whole album, which I hope people do. I know people don't listen that way nowadays. Most people don't. But if you do that, the goal is not to bore people out. You know, each and every song needs to be strong on its own. But at the same time, we don't want the songs to sound too much like each other. You know, to be too similar.
Yeah, you're not AC/DC.
No,
definitely not. Well, Samuel, I was reading through the press that they sent with this, and it mentioned that on this record, unlike others that you guys have done, that your guitar player Henrik wrote full compositions this time, instead of coming to the band with, you know, ideas, and you coming out with ideas, and, you know, kind of growing them, you know, together. Was that on purpose? Was that because of the pandemic didn't let you get together, or why was it that it was done that way?
Yeah, it was partly because of the pandemic and us not meeting each other that much during the pandemic. But I think it's mainly because Henrik, he's a great songwriter, you know. And he has his ideas, and I don't know. I brought some stuff to the table. He hasn't written the whole album from beginning to start on his own, but more or less you could say that, because many of the songs he brought to me, they were almost finished, you know, and I only had to add lyrics and we did some minor modifications, but. Yeah, as long as I have no problem with Henrik writing 100%, if he would do that in the future, as long as the songs are good, I have no problem at all. If somebody in the band would say, hey, I want to write the lyrics now, and if they turn out great, sure, because all four of us, we only want what's best for the band, you know. And Kenny and Andre, who's maybe not that much involved in the songwriting process as me and Henrik, they think the same. You know, what's best for the band is what we should go for. And if this formula is the best for the band and the best for the music, then yeah, no prestige at all from any of us.
Sure. Now with him coming in with, you know, 3/4 of the song of each song written, is it easier or harder to say, yeah, that's not going to work, or I'm not feeling that, to put vocals over or whatever?
But since me and Henrik, we've known each other for so long now, you know, and we've been writing music together for so long, he often knows what I may not buy directly, you know, what I may oppose, and vice versa. Because he knows, I often know when I present something for Henrik that, hey, Henrik's probably not going to buy this one. It was interesting. We experiment with some new elements on some songs on this album, and one of them was, we actually have a small rap part in one of the songs. And when I came up with that idea and recorded it, I never thought that Henrik would accept it. You know, I thought myself that it sounded cool, but I was almost 100% positive that Henrik, he's not going to buy this one, because Henrik is very true. You know, he's true to his roots, and you know, and yeah, Judas Priest would probably not bring in rap, you know. And I thought that is what Henrik's going to say to me about this. But actually, he bought it, and he thought, hey, it sounds cool, and the song needs something here in this part of the song. We need to have something different here to break from the other parts of the song, and something that breaks off and we come back, and you know. Yeah. I may have lost your question here.
No,
what was the question?
No, not at all. I mean, that's the key is that you guys work together, which honestly makes it a better formula. I mean, I could tell you, Samuel, I talk to 1,000 bands a year, and as a lead singer saying, hey, someone else can come in and write the songs and especially the lyrics, you would be the first one I've heard say that ever. And, you know, it just, that's not what lead singers do.
No, but there's not much prestige in the band, I would say. We are four friends, all four of us, you know, and everyone wants to do what's best for the band, even no matter if it's we're talking about the songwriting or the touring or whatever, you know. It's always the band must come first and the music must come first, and the other guys would never accept if I came along with a song that they didn't like. It would not end up on the album, you know, because we listen to each other, and it's more or less a democracy in the band.
Sure.
Very, very much of a democracy, I would say. It's very few things that we do not discuss before taking any decisions, you know.
Sure. And
as you said, I think I remember the question now. Me and Henrik, we are very frank with each other, you know, and we accept. Henrik, I know that Henrik will tell me if he doesn't believe in one of my ideas, and I do the same with him, and no hard feelings, you know. We all often go by the first feeling when you hear something, you know. Maybe some ideas you don't love the first time, but it's still a good idea. But you need to get some kind of emotion. It has to wake some kind of emotion within. And if it does that, you know, you give it a second chance, you listen over and over again, and then after a while, maybe, it's good, let's keep it. But if you don't feel anything the first time you listen, you know, then no prestige.
Right. No, that makes sense. Well, certainly you guys have hit on things with Armageddon, which is out from Manimal on December the 3rd. First single that you guys have shared with the public is Forged in Metal. Great tune. Heavy, you know, right in your face from second one. So talk a little bit about that one and why it was chosen as the first single.
Yeah, it was a tough one to choose singles from this album, because we all have our own favorites, you know, and the songs, they sound so different from each other. And on one hand, you try to think, hey, what will people like? And on the other hand, you think that, hey, what would we like? How would we like to present ourselves and the band? And but I think the reason for the two first singles was actually Forged in Metal, and then it was The Inevitable End. And the reason those two were the first singles was that we actually recorded these two songs already last year. They were finished. They were completely finished. They were mixed and mastered before even we have started to record the other remaining 8 tracks. And the reason for that was that we wanted to be able to work as long as possible on the rest of the songs without being able to have a final deadline, you know, when we need to send the album master to the label. So we recorded and mastered those 2 songs and delivered them for AFM to release as the 2 first singles. So those were pretty much set before. But the other ones, which was Armageddon and Burn in Hell for the following two singles. And why did we choose those 2 songs? Yeah, every one of us, nobody of us had Armageddon as a favorite before we started to record and before the mix. Actually, we thought it's a good song, we thought, but it was maybe, you know, it was way back in the list if we ranked the songs. But something happened with the song when we recorded it. It ended up so, you know, so heavy and in your face, and it was so driving and catchy, you know. So I think nobody objected when the idea came up that, hey, maybe we should choose this one as one of the singles. And I think "Burn in Hell" was that one was a single from day one, because we thought that, hey, this one is so heavy and so you know, in your face. Yeah, let's go for this one. Armageddon was not that we were not that sure of that one before we started to record the album, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, the interesting thing to me, and I guess it's becoming the new way these days, is that you've pretty much shared half the record with fans. So if fans can't figure out that they want to hear this from 4 songs, then they probably don't want to hear it. You know, it's crazy.
And we have another single coming up. I don't know when you will broadcast this, but this Friday, in just a couple of days, we are releasing the 5th single. And that was not the idea from the beginning. But when we decided together with our label that we will postpone the whole album release because of the delay of the vinyls, we decided at the same time that we will put out one more single just to keep people a little busy, you know, and give them something, even though it wasn't the whole album. So we decided to go for Chains of Fury, along with a lyric video. So it will be half the album will have been released as singles before the album. And I don't know, even though I think myself, I'm not that old, but I've turned 40 this year, and you know, I still think that the album format for me is sacred.
Sure.
But I know that is not the case in the album format. That is not the way that people listen to music nowadays. Most people, I would say.
Right.
So therefore we had to adapt to that, and that was the reason that we decided to go for 4 singles, and now it turned out as 5 singles. But yeah, you know, because it's always a risk when you put out a whole album that most people will not listen to the whole album. If you see, just look at Spotify, you will see that the most listened songs on almost any artist are maybe the 4 or 5 first tracks of the latest album.
Right.
And I think that tells it all. You know, people, they turn on, they play the latest release, and they play the first couple of songs, and then, you know, and then they pick the favorites and add them to a playlist and stuff.
Right.
You know, so we were afraid that people will not give some of the tracks the chance because they are like track 8 on the album.
Right. Sure.
So this was a way for us to highlight some of the tracks that we thought that, hey, we really want people to listen to these ones. And maybe also after the album release, we are planning to maybe record at least one more music video, and so release it after the album release, and therefore we can maybe highlight some of the other songs that haven't got the opportunity to be highlighted and pitched, you know.
Sure. Definitely. Now, Samuel, you know, going forward, we're all living in this same world of COVID where we don't know what's going on from minute to minute. So are you able to make touring plans yet, or is it really still kind of wait and see what shakes out, or what?
We had plans, but they were down
they're
the drain.
gone.
Yeah, already. Yeah, we were supposed to go out and tour with Rage and Bonded in the last of November and 2 weeks from that. So yeah, November, December, we were the idea was to be out on tour to support Rage, but since things are like they are these days, and we thought that the risk of going out at this point in Europe it's too risky. Sure. If people don't turn up at the shows, and we spend a lot of money on the tours, it's a financial risk for the band, and if it turns out to be a financial catastrophe for us and for the band, then it will most probably affect our possibility to do other tours next year and stuff, so we had it was a hard decision, because we haven't been playing for 2 years now.
Right.
We did our last show at the Sabaton cruise in December 2019.
Wow.
So it's almost 2 years now. So it was a hard decision, but we decided that it's too soon. We can't do this. Sure. And I know Rage, they have canceled some of the shows, but they will still do a couple of the shows from the tour on their own. So now we're looking at next year. We have some festivals booked for next year, but no tour at this point.
Sure.
But yeah.
And that's probably smarter, to be honest. I mean, obviously here in the United States, the tours went on this summer, but literally every single band except Guns N' Roses, for some reason, every other band had canceled shows, had guys getting COVID, had full tours that were booked, canceled, booked, canceled, booked, canceled. So it's, especially for a band like Manimal that doesn't have, Rolling Stones money where you can afford that, that it probably makes the most sense to just kind of wait until it clears up, no?
Yeah, and at the same time, we are a bit stressed over this situation because
Sure.
now the album will come out in December, and we want to go out on tour to promote the album and meet people, and but at the same time we have to be realistic. We don't have this big treasure chest with gold coins to just pick from. So we have to be smart, so we don't ruin the possibilities for us to do more touring, because that's what we want to do. Once the album is out, the only thing we want to do is to play live as much as possible.
Sure, absolutely, man. Well, people definitely need to hear these songs, not only live, but even just as recorded. The name of the album is Armageddon. It is the band Manimal. I'm saying it again. This is my 2021 album of the year. It is that good. And I'm not just saying that because I'm talking to Samuel here. I am saying it because it is the way it is. So, Samuel, why don't you tell people where we should send them online to keep up with you and the band and to buy Armageddon?
Yeah, check out our official website, manimal.se. There we also have our own web shop where you can order merchandise, and you can order our albums, and if you want them signed, we will sign them. And you can always check our Facebook, Manimal Official. It's the same for Instagram, Manimal Official, and the same for YouTube. We try to keep up with the digital world.
Sure.
We still have no TikTok account, but we're on Instagram and Facebook, and all over the place. So come, check us out there and follow us, and and hopefully we'll get to come to US again. Our first and only time there was a great experience for us. It was memories for life at the Prog Power Festival
Sure.
A couple of years ago. So I really hope that we get to come back, that we can make it happen someday soon.
Sure. Absolutely, man. Well, one more time, the name of the album is Armageddon. The name of the band is Manimal. And Samuel, thanks so much for joining us here on the Classic Metal Show.
Thank you.
Thanks for checking out this episode of The Classic Metal Show. Get all of our episodes uncensored at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. Join us weekly from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. Eastern at www.cmsradio.net.
Participate in the live chat room at www.chatandkill.com. Once again, thank you for checking out The Classic Metal Show with Neely and Chris. Hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and hand job!
Heavy Metal Television, the world's first 24-hour internet TV station, forever free.